Hail and welcome back. How has everyone been? So it's been a couple of weeks since the last one. I had a couple of things to sort through. The testicles, yes, I have been listening to you. I have been trying to record this. OBS and then Shortcut, which is the editing software I use, they decided that they didn't want to work with me today. They wanted to cause me problems. So here we are, back in Neverwinter. Though I am going to do one thing. I was going to change to my main character. Oh, there he is, bottom corner. Wish me best of luck for this. I'll let him know that I've done that when it gets released. This I have to tell a few other people as well. So when this loads up, I'm just coming up into a cold area. Yes, this is me, the elf, wearing pyjamas in the snow. I do these strange things, get the hairy chest out. Yes, so manly. So, but down here, started recording. If I could spell. And then they can see what's going on down there. Now, I've come here originally, and I'm hoping this is not too loud on the audio. Yep. As for Lita, let's just turn the volume down a smidgen. Out of the brush. The guild leader. Hello. They're all saying hi. Hi to the world. The reason why I've come here is this. A frost giant. Now, frost giants. This is what all this area is about. This is what this entire section is. When you go to travel, all this is the Icewind Dale story arc. Now, the big bad guys you fight are the frost giants. Now, I'm running a 3rd edition, 3.5 edition Dungeons & Dragons, which may end up, spoilers if my players happen to listen to this, I'll be so lucky, they may end up facing one of these a lot later on. Not in this area, definitely not around all going to be on the vid. Not in this snowy area in Neverwinter, but in an area involving giants further to the east where I've set my campaign. But for this 3.5, a frost giant is around 15-16 feet tall. My character is 6 foot. What is it about once you get over 6 foot, an inch is more like a foot? I've got a friend. I'm 6'4". I have a friend who is 6'8", 6'9" at a push, 6'10" with his hairstyle. Sorry, Josh. But when I stand next to him, you would think, yeah, I'd come to his nose, below his eyes. No. I actually barely come to his chin. That's a good foot short, top of his head. Now, 6'4", plus a good 10 inches, puts him over 7 foot, and that he is not. But, for this, I'm actually quite happy with the scale they give you. And you realise, big buggers, right up there. So, what am I going to be doing here today? Well, one thing, I'll come out of that mode so I can do this, is talking about this area here. I mentioned it briefly last time. This is Storm King's Thunder. Okay. Over here is what those who've read the Forgotten Realms books going back maybe 5-10 years, where Drizzt, Bruno, Wolfgar and all the others hang around. Here is Icewind Dale and Icewind Pass. Over there is a lot of history. Now if I quickly go into here and into the lore, get to the right one, see there's quite a lot of them and they're in alphabetical order. Icewind. So all this is a story arc that they mention to do with Drizzt, Odin and all the other guys they fought. This is where they were. And I get to play it here. So why don't we take a little break from this? I'll pull up the books and we'll talk about what's the 5th edition Storm King's Thunder compared to something even older from 1st edition. So, back in a moment. So where do we start? How about a map of the realms before we talk about the Storm King's Thunder? So this is the realms, all of it. In the middle, Seas of Fallen Stars. But if you go right to the far, far left side, and hopefully this will let me do this, way up we go. So, past Waterdeep, Mere of Dead Men is Neverwinter, where the game I'm playing is based. Now, if you go north, a little bit further, Spinal World is Icewind Dale, Sea of Moving Ice. Now this is where Neverwinter's Storm King's Thunder is all based around here. All this right up there in that top corner, top left, is where all of Storm King's Thunder is held. And this is the book they've released for it, Storm King's Thunder by Dungeons & Dragons Wizards of the Coast. It's been out a few years now. Takes you from 1st to 10th level, so it's quite a journey. Oh, Testicle's still talking. I think he's levelling himself up through in Neverwinter. Now this was released and based on many different things. So what's the date in the front cover of this when it was released? 2016. Excuse me. And the blurb on the back: to fight giants, you must be a giant. Ages ago, giants and dragons waged war across the savage frontier. These battles, long forgotten by the human civilization. By the way, I've got spare teeth, I'm breaking them in. I'll start that again. The human civilizations of today, but ancient relics remain, and now the land shudders once more with the thunder of giant footsteps. Hill giants raid farms for food and livestock, as stone giants lay waste to settlements in their path. Frost giants plunder coastal towns, as fire giants gather slaves. Cloud giant castles drift across the sky, casting ominous shadows on the cities of the north. But no threat compares to the wrath of the storm giants, who stand betrayed. Puny adventurers must rise to the challenge, gather their strength, unlock the power of ancient runes, take the fight to the giant's doorstep. Only then can they discover a hidden evil, fomenting a war between giants and small folk. That's you, by the way. Only then can they forge an alliance to end the war before it begins. It's quite a big book, this. 250 odd pages. And it covers everything from 1st to 10th level. And if you've never DM'd before, it tells you what to say and how to do it. When to start, what levels. And it starts at the beginning, at 1st level, with hill giants. And then you move up to mountains and frost. And when you start getting onto the frost ones, which is more what Storm King's Thunder in Neverwinter is based on. It's up here in the cold, frostbite lands. You can hear me flicking pages, can't you? Clicking it. Berg of the Frost Giants. Now that's up in the Sea of Moving Ice, very top left of that map I showed you within the game. Now here, part of this adventure is what you're trying to do in Neverwinter. But here at the table, I think you have a lot more freedom to do things. Hence I do prefer TTRPG, tabletop role-playing games. Massive everywhere at the moment. And why? Friends have said, why don't you do anything about it? You're mad on them. But yeah, Storm King's Thunder. Now, in that, you get decent maps. It's a picture from within inside. This city within this book is more open. This same one within Neverwinter is a frozen, blasted waste. You can move around probably about this area and that's it. Probably to help save the devs development time, possibly to give you more linear progression. You do your adventures, you do your dailies, you go back. We're doing tabletop a lot more. Where do you want to go? What are you doing? My favourite line my players hate. So, what are you doing? Next. I'm going to do it. Now, we've mentioned hill, mountain. We've mentioned lots of different cloud, frost. Where have I heard these before? That will be it. Back then, first edition. This was a tournament originally. This is all 3 modules in one. This is how it was released originally. G1 to 3 against the Giants. The idea for this was, like I say, it's 3 adventures, levels 8 to 12. You started off against the hill and mountain giants. You then moved on against the frost and fire giants. And then finally you moved against the cloud and the storm giants. And you found out what was going on as you moved through the 3 adventures. This is my copy. I'll take a picture of my table. This was done by when it was TSR. Probably released early 80s. Oh yeah, 1981. Down there, bottom right corner. Origins 79 tournament module. Now, this, as you can see across the bottom, is what Storm King's Thunder is the modern day version. We have got nearly 40 years, 1981, 2019, that's nearly 40 years between these modules. And yet the story arc in between has stood that test of time. It's been updated more with equipment, stats, the things you do, and the portrayal of it. This module, all in all, is maybe 40 pages, 50 pages tops. Storm King's Thunder, the book 5e, 250. So a lot more goes into them nowadays. But then this was part of a era of first edition where adventures were a lot more linear. You started, you moved forward, you went into the dungeon, you cleared the dungeon, you went to the next dungeon, you cleared it. Over time, role-playing's changed. It's become more diverse, more encompassing of everyone. I mean, if you go to Hollywood now, if you're not a role player, you're not one of the in crowd. Whereas, go back 40 years, if you're a role player, yeah, you lived somewhere on the outskirts. I know that feeling back then. So today, Neverwinter, Storm King's Thunder. Storm King's Thunder 5e and its roots, where it came from, back in a tournament module. Now this did lead on from here, as you can see in the bottom right corner, as part of a series. It was known as GDQ 1 to 3. And the idea was you went through this sequence that's down here in the bottom right corner. Against giants, you did Descent to the depths of the earth 1 to 2. Then D3 Vault of the Drow. Q Queen of the Demon Pits. And yep, I've even got those. So this was 1978 this one was released. Now this is a bit thicker. And this is going up against Lolth. Dangerous times. I wonder, are they going to bring more of these out in 5e? I know we have others which I'm going to talk about, and I'll go visit their areas within Neverwinter, because a lot of them have been portrayed within the computer game. Let's compare them. This is just a brief one. If you want me to go more in depth, let me know in the comments below. Please tell me what you'd like to see. Okay. But yes, Storm King's Thunder. Journey into ice and lots of very tall people. So let's go back to that game and see where it takes us. Back in a moment. So there you have the story of Storm King's Thunder and Against the Giants G1 to 3. Now, just thought I'd say goodbye. Stood next to Ulfgar, Drizit's best buddy. Go forth into the Icewind Dale lands and knock on some white dragons and deal with these giants themselves. And with a lich or two back in the day. That's Canterbury. And in a couple of other areas there is Brunir and there is Drizzt around. I was fighting with him earlier, don't you know, having a drink with him later. All good fun. But for now, as Zartbitter comes to say, give me my quest, give me my quest, I'm going to say it's time for me to go. Look forward to seeing you next time. If you don't subscribe, please click the subscribe button. If you liked it, click a like. If you didn't, click it down. And leave comments. Tell me what you want to hear about next, please. Nice to get some feedback. But for now, keep warm. Enjoy your journeys. Hail and farewell.